It's almost like a ride.
She feels obliged to pick the violin because her mother's Irish.
We're back on the Kate Bush journey. Yes. Today we're listening to Violin. I actually have heard this already, unfortunately, because my mic cord got pulled out, and so the footage was all buzzy. You couldn't hear me talking at all. So we're gonna have to redo it. I hope you guys don't mind. You'll see me actually change shirts. I also reacted to the demo, so we're going to be listening to the original track from Never Forever. Back on our Never Forever deep dive, a part of our Kate Bush deep dive in general. Let's recheck out Violin. If anything, it's good. I feel like I missed some things the first time around.
Future Io here. I think this is one of her most personal songs, but it took my reaction, listening to the demo, and researching before I finally figured it out. So I urge you to watch the whole video because it's an interesting journey.
So dissonant violins. I still don't know if they're real. This is a very new wave vocal. I just noticed this vocal. It's got such a punk energy. Those are real, I think. I was noticing the second time that I heard this that there's another like texture. There's a lot of like violin textures. I think they must have done overdubs because it doesn't necessarily sound like it's like an orchestra or like even a quartet or like, you know, a string section. It sounds like they've been overdubbed and they've been panned in different ways. Also, second time I'm hearing it, I was like hearing kind of almost like a country fiddle kind of feeling, like as a playing the chords of the song. It definitely has such a punk energy. This is even more of a new wave vocal than the Wedding Gig too. She's almost doing whistle tone as well. It's kind of crazy. The first time I heard it, I was like really blown away. The Banshees. Fiddle-dee-dee. Sounds like Scarlett O'Hara. Oh, she's really going for it. It's almost like a ride. She's giving such a performance here. She was such giving it to you. Just giving you a real performance. Ooh. Horror violins, too. We got punk violins, country violins. I'm gonna say it again because it's just still so shocking to me, people who said that she's not rock enough. I'm gonna just say it because I feel at this point it's like obligatory, because what the hell is this if not rock? Kate Bush rocks and she can give a rock performance. I mean, she was really giving it to you. I feel like this is kind of Kate Bush's sense of humor. You know, it's like she's doing like a violin punk song, you know, at the height of punk. It's more of a simple chord structure, but it's also ingenious too at the same time. It's simple for Kate Bush. Just put it that way. Kate Bush usually has all these key changes and time signature changes, but these were like interesting in a different way. I have absolutely no idea what the lyrics are about. So, okay, looking at the Kate Bush encyclopedia. Oh yeah, that's right. Violin was performed in Tour of Life. It was performed in the Christmas special, which I've still yet to see that, but I will be reacting to it. It says, Violin is for all the mad fiddlers, from Paganini to Old Nick himself. Saint Nick? Like Santa Claus?
I know when you're awake.
Okay, that's good. Let's try it again, maybe a little more jolly.
Who's Old Nick? Nick, violin. Did Saint Nicholas play violin? I don't know. I guess I'm not that familiar with it.
So I was so confused by these lyrics. I was thinking, did KB really write a novelty punk song about violins? I understand that she's naming off violinists and violin iconography, but some of the references I didn't get. I thought this line was a reference to Susie Sue and the Banshees, until I found this quote. I mean, for instance, It's the Police has a completely different meaning now because of the group called the Police, and I'm referring to the original Banshees, who are in fact from Ireland, who would only cry when death was imminent. And so it's just meant to be very eerie creatures singing the backing vocals.
Looks like I was right too. Violin is one person. It wasn't a string section. I know it didn't sound like a synth. I probably wasn't sampled, but it didn't sound like a string section. It's interesting that they used one violin. I think the way they overdubbed it was really interesting and gave it that interesting sound and texture. I thought we would check out the demo too while we're here. Why not? Sounds so different on piano.
4 strings across the bridge, ready to carry me over the quavers, under the bars.
Wow, these remind me of the very early demos.
Get the ball going, let it scream to me, violin, violin, violin.
It's a good hook, really good hook. And the violin part sounds so different on piano. I wonder if she envisioned it with violin in the beginning.
So some of you already know that I reacted to a lot of the early demos.
For the good night.
Sounds kind of mischievous a little bit.
And Violin was the very last that Kate Bush re-recorded for an album. And the fact that the demos were recorded when she was 13 and 14, this makes so much sense. Let's look back to September 1969, when Kate Bush is just 11. She's attending St. Joseph's Convent Grammar School, an all-girl Roman Catholic school in Abbey Wood, southeast London. A very strict school. Here she is right in the front row. In her grade, everyone picks an instrument. According to Kate's brother, Paddy, she feels obliged to pick the violin because her mother's Irish. I didn't know violin was her first instrument, because violin was my first instrument. And I too picked it because of my mother, although my mother's not Irish. But I think that's why the lyrics sound kind of old Irish. I also went to Catholic school too, but Kate's not thriving at her Catholic school at all. It really stifles her creativity. She was constantly pushed to practice violin, and this brings out the rebel in her. I'm picturing the teachers in Pink Floyd's The Wall for some reason. My teachers weren't quite that strict, but I did have a teacher who used to spank me. What a bitch. So even though Kate is self-possessed enough to realize that this isn't working, I think she feels Good old-fashioned Catholic guilt. You know, that thing that stays with every lapsed Catholic? The double-edged sword is that it also makes you more conscientious. In spite of respecting the masters, she feels guilt for not wanting to practice more. This is so familiar to me because I had the same issue. I was always being told to practice the violin. It's not the best instrument to practice on, especially for others. My mom always told me to practice, but my sisters would be like, "Stop that racket!" Even my mother would say that, which is a total mixed message. Kate is also getting the same kind of mixed message. And I feel a little better because she's not good at violin either, which according to this blog goes against her perfectionism. The practice isn't pleasant, unlike piano. A little later that same year, Kate takes it up, and she's absolutely brilliant, which gives us real insight into her process, since she often shines in this more DIY sort of lone wolf process. In places where she does her best work, she comes up with them all by her lonesome. Her parents are smart to pull her out of Catholic school at 13, realizing this. Around this time, Violin is written and the demo is recorded. That's why there's this manic energy to it, because it's all still fresh in her mind. That's why she's saying, "Violin, violin." That's probably the teachers or the nuns wanting her to practice. That's why there's an anxiety to it. I think all we ever look for is sort of a yang to this song's yin. It totally fits the theme of Never Forever. If you've been around from my other videos, I think you could guess what item would be sold in that curio shop. That's why there's the violin monsters when she stages her Tour of Life tour. The whole song takes on a completely different meaning once I learned all this.
Well, hopefully we won't have to do third time the charm. Hopefully that everything was okay. We have everything recorded. I'm looking forward to Infant Kiss next. So don't forget to subscribe so you can check that out when it comes out. And if you want to check out a different video, there's one right here, or there's also my Kate Bush playlist right down here. Or you can subscribe to me right here if you feel so inclined. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope I get to see you next time. Popcorn Philosopher over and out.